feels new, shared moments sweet.
Hi, this is JJ here at Once. What you're about to see is some very special content created just for you by the Once family. Art and community are our priorities here at Once. We'd rather be with you in person, but what we can do right now is create virtual experiences for us to all enjoy together. No, it's not the same as being at a live show, but that doesn't mean that it's not a way to enjoy each other's company and entertainment. So, without further ado, a few house notes. The bathrooms are in the back, on the left. No flash photography, please. And as always, no crowd surfing. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Once Virtual Venue. I'm Chris Porter from Porter Productions and Once Somerville, and I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, we're very proud to present the wonderfully haunting violinist and singer-songwriter from northern Minnesota, Gaelynn Lea. Gaelynn has been recording music for a number of years. She won NPR Music's Tiny Desk Concert in 2016, and she's been touring nationally and internationally ever since. Gaelynn is also a disability rights advocate and is also a public speaker. Please stick around after her performance for a conversation with Gaelynn and me. But for now, turn your speakers up and please enjoy the music of Gaelynn Lea.
Pushing up through the dirt just like a seed, but you're never quite a flower. You feel more just like a weed. Driving through. You wanna know where you are going, but the windshield's always dirty, and you never get to see what makes you think that you'll ever get there. What makes you think you deserve to know? Who are you really? Are you so important? Take a look around and watch the world unfold. Watch the world unfold. Watch the world unfold. Watch the world unfold. Need advice, you have no clue what you're doing. Moral compass it is spinning, an identity unhinged. Where to turn, there are no opinions, and they're all a little different, and the outlook's getting dim. What makes you think that you'll ever Watch the world unfold. Watch the world unfold. Watch the world unfold. Pushing up through the dirt just like a seed, but you're never quite a flower. You feel more just like a weed. Our love's a complex vintage wine, all rotted leaves and lemon rind. I'd spit you out, but now you're mine. We bit the fruit, it seemed a lie. I'll never know which way was right. Now side by side we face the night, and I love you, and I love you. We walked the pier and back again. It was the most scared I've ever been. You held my hand until the end, and I love you, and I love you. Don't tell me we've got time. The subtle thief of life, it slips away when we pay no mind. We pull the weeds out till the dawn, nearly too tired to carry on. Someday we'll linger in the sun, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you. This song is a duet, so I need your help to sing it at home. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna set up the loop, and then we are gonna come in together, and we're gonna sing, "Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings." We're gonna sing that line together twice. And the words are, "Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings." So let's try it together. Let's just practice it once. So, "Bird, why do you sing? Fate has clipped your wings." So that is what you're going to sing with me. We're going to come in together, sing it twice, and you are going to keep singing that line at home until the end of the song, and we will end together. And you see me way in the back here. I've been waiting in line. It's been a long time, can't get no service. Still I am hoping for a sign that one day things will change and we can finally take our place. That history won't forget us or try to minimize our pain. And so I wait. And so I wait. Did you know that when I get angry, I breathe fire? I could burn this place down. You may not realize all of the small ways I am not welcome, but just take a look around. So everybody knows that you need a place to go, and living isn't easy if you incinerate your home. And so I stay. And so I stay. I may seem angry, so please forgive me, but I am still not free in this society. How long must we keep fighting for our right to be living? Wrongs overdue for righting. We're a bit too forgiving. So if you hear them make claims of progress, take a good look and see who isn't fair. We need a seat now at the table, so please invite us, or don't pretend to care. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a red one and a green one, and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they're put in little boxes, and they all came out the same. And there's doctors and there's lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university, where they're put in little boxes, and they all come out the same. boys go into business. A Marion raised a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. There's a red one and a blue one, and a pink one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same.
Hello, this is Tim Hall here, musician, saxophonist, and poet. I'm here at Once and just need to say how important it is to support the local arts and local businesses. Once is such an important venue to the scene of artists and creators. I'm just here to name how dire it is to support Once and the staff here and everything that they stand for and do for this local scene. Also, they have been nominated for a Boston Music Award for both the venue as well as their live stream. So again, they're doing amazing work. Please go and support. See you soon. Tim Hall, out.
So we're Once Somerville. We have an online store. It's called Shopperville. Get it? It's a pretty cool place. You can find our t-shirts, our bumper stickers, which, by the way, say Once Army, smashing the patriarchy since 2015. So you know you want people to be seeing that. Check out Once Shopperville. You can find the link in all of our socials. Please buy something. It helps us, makes you look cool. You rock.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. That was fantastic, Gaelynn. Thanks so much for that. Thanks to all who are tuning in to this evening. You just, in case you didn't tuned in late, we've been listening to Gaelynn Lea, direct from Duluth, Minnesota. Is that correct?
Yes.
There you go,
It's
northern Minnesota.
snowing here right now.
Oh, God, already.
It's so early. Yeah, we're having a little bitty blizzard tonight. So I don't know.
Such is life in Minnesota, although I wouldn't expect that in October.
No, usually November is really when it starts. So this is pretty early. Seriously.
Oh, gee,
Even
this is
for
the
us.
thing you have to deal with. You know, before we started the broadcast today, speaking of not expecting things, I last saw you at Folk Alliance, which for those of you who don't know what Folk Alliance is, it's a business conference or a music festival and it happens in different cities. And this year was a nice, sunny, warm New Orleans in February.
Yeah.
And little did we know, just a few weeks later, our lives would be turned upside down. And so I suppose this is sort of a typical question I ask all of the artists, but how are you coping in this pandemic? It sounds like you've been keeping yourself busy. Is that right?
Yeah. I kind of thought, oh, I'll have nothing to do. But luckily, a lot of venues like yours have been doing online shows and a lot of conferences had me do speaking engagements. My personal favorite part has I started doing a weekly show on my YouTube page every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. in Boston time. And at first they were kind of terrible, like the audio and visual was horrible, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I kept doing them, and so I've done them for 33 weeks. And about 2 months ago, I started having a guest for every show. So they play 3 songs and then we chat and then I end the show by myself. And it's the same, a lot of times the same people come every week. And so it's really, really fun. It's been this like little community that sprung up. And so they're not like paying all my bills or anything, but they're definitely like keeping me connected to music, especially people I've met on the road. And they're super, super fun. And then I'm writing this winter. In just about 2 weeks, I'm starting a sabbatical. So the only shows I'm going to do are those weekly shows. And then everything else is going to be writing a book. And so I'm doing a Patreon for that. And it's just been kind of fun. It's like a weird year, and maybe fun is an overstatement because there's so much tragic stuff happening in America, but we have managed to find a way to like try to do something with it that's hopefully positive. And still creating, and especially with the online stuff, connecting with people regularly has really helped, I think. I mean, it took a while to find my groove, but especially if the show is live and I can like talk to people in the chat, or like, you know, like the live component for me makes it really fun. Because I still feel like I get that little boost of like energy that happens when you're performing, you know?
Absolutely. In a typical year, how many shows do you do a year?
I was doing about 150 or 200 a year. We were gone about 9 months of the year with all the travel time in between. And so we were doing, I say we, it's me and my husband travel together, but he doesn't perform. He does all the background stuff or whatever. But yeah, we were gone a lot. And so it was just super weird we were on our way to Colorado when we had to turn around because of coronavirus. So there wasn't really, I mean, this was just so out of the range. I mean, everybody, right? This was just so out of our range that it took a while to kind of recalibrate. But these weekly shows especially have really given me like a lot of joy. On December 6th, Jeff Tweedy from Wilco is going to be on. So that's huge for me. Like, it's kind of brand. We've gotten to know each other because I opened for them a little bit. And he's just doing it to be nice, basically, because he's the nicest person in the world. And so I think it's going to be cool to just see what happens. And then how much of this continues. You know, I think it's nice to have accessible shows for people in other countries and people with disabilities or people with little kids. So making shows available online, I think, is something that I hope doesn't go away, actually. I mean, not all the way anyways. We'll get back in real life, but then find a way to offer it, you know?
I want to talk a little bit about the people you collaborated and opened for in a moment, but I want to get back to something you just said. I'd love to hear a little more about the book that you're writing. Talk to us about that.
So the book I'm writing is, I started touring in October of 2016, so just about 4 years ago. And I kind of went into it thinking like my hometown was not that accessible, but like surely New York City would be fully accessible, you know what I mean? And realizing how many barriers there were to disabled artists, like just so many venues I can't get on the stage, or the bathroom is not accessible, or people with disabilities. Oh yeah, I mean, it's 30 years in from the Americans with Disabilities Act. So I want to write about that, but not just that. I want to write about the awesomeness that is disability culture. One thing that I love about touring is that I did, because I did a lot of conferences and speaking too, I got to meet a lot of really awesome disability rights advocates. And I think the side of the story that you don't hear enough, which I want to write about, is just how like vibrant and cool and like energized and resilient, but not just resilient like, oh, they overcome barriers, but creative the disability community is. Like, I think if we hear about it at all, it's often through the lens of, oh, this is the needs that they have that aren't getting met, and we don't often celebrate disability culture. So I want to write about that, just like how do we change the dialogue for disability as diversity rather than just like a group that we need to pity or protect or whatever. How do we celebrate disability more? It'll be kind of a memoir, but in the memoir, there'll be little passages where I can kind of talk about those. I have the outline. That's all I got so far. I'm so scared. I have so much to do.
Go for it. This is a good time. This is a good time to work on things like that.
So. I figured it's like, well, when else am I going to have time to do a hugely different kind of time-consuming project? So it'll be this winter. When apparently winter's here, so apparently it's
well, where you are, yeah. I hope not where I'm at later, but we'll see. But yeah, well, that sounds exciting. I look forward to seeing that book come to fruition. That sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
You mentioned you started touring in 2016, and I wanted to ask you. I'm always fascinated about turning points in people's lives, and you know what kind of gets you onto another kind of realm in your life. And you had mentioned that I noticed it's on all of your bios about, and I sort of misspoke about it in your intro. I said you won the NPR Tiny Desk concert. You won the Tiny Desk contest, which is put on by the NPR Tiny Desk concert folks.
Yep.
Was that a big turning point for you? Because that's when you got on my radar as well. Can you speak a little bit about that and how that came to be and what that's done for you moving forward?
My gosh. Yeah, that was a huge turning point. Like, humongous. So I was teaching fiddle lessons in Duluth, Minnesota. I had about 15 or 18 students, depending on the month or whatever. And I would perform in my hometown a lot, like, 5 or 8 times a month. But I hadn't toured at all. The farthest I had ever played was in Minneapolis for like a one-time show, no touring at all. And I entered the Tiny Desk because a couple of my students told me about it, the contest, and looked it up and thought, okay, yeah, I'll put it on my to-do list or whatever. And then didn't do it yet. And then
Now, what was doing it? You had to make a video performance to send to them?
Sorry, yeah. You had to record a video of yourself singing a song in front of a desk. So that was like the only rule. And it had to be a song that you wrote. So so I was like, okay, I got to do that. And then about a week before the deadline, my other friend, a very good friend of mine from college, was like, I really think you need to enter. And she was the third person that had told me about it. And I was like, okay, third time's the charm, I guess. So she helped me film it in my lesson space before we went out for half price wine night one night. She came upstairs and helped me film my video. And there was just no way in a million years I thought I was going to win. Just 0% even contemplating the idea. So when I did get a call from them, I thought maybe I was a finalist. And even then I was like feeling all panicky. And it turns out that I won. And that was a really, really, really big deal because I had no national exposure at all before that point. So I ended up getting offers to tour, offers to play in very different places. And my husband and I did the prize, which was a 5-city tour with NPR music. And at the end of that, we were kind of like, well, if we were ever going to try to tour, this is the time that we need to do it because we'll never have this kind of a boost again. And so we did. We sold our house and both took like sabbaticals from our job, which we ended up quitting later anyways, and touring pretty much full time because I need help to travel. I can't do that on my own because of my disability. And so we knew that it's not something that he could do, like take vacation time and then go with me. If we were going to do it, we had to do it together kind of all the time because that's just how the math worked out. So we just started touring full time. So we had all these really wild adventures in the last 4 years. And it's so weird to be home now, but it's kind of, for us, it's like bittersweet because I just was never even planning on doing that. Like, I hope we get back to it eventually, and I'm sure we will, but it was all this like icing on the cake. Like traveling that much was just not even something we ever talked about. It was not even at all part of the plan. So it's been really fun.
That's always the best things in life when you didn't expect them when they're
exactly. And you're just like, well, this is cool. So yeah, we did a lot of the US. We have 45 states, I guess. And then we did 9 countries total. So we've done quite a lot of traveling. And that was just super neat. Traveling is cool. If you can ever travel, that is one thing. Seriously.
Amen travel. On that. I'm up to, I think 44 states. I've got 60.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. I haven't done Alaska or Hawaii yet. Have you done either of those?
Hawaii, I have. I've been there 3 times. I've not been to Alaska. And much of the year I live in Seattle. So shame on me for not hitting that yet, but I will. I know I will. Yes. But Hawaii, is beautiful.
I bet it's beautiful. Yeah.
They both are beautiful. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
Somewhere along the line, I have a hunch you'll make them both.
Hopefully.
Well, this sort of segues to it. You were mentioning about Jeff Tweedy, and I was looking, before we got together today, I was looking at some people. I know you did a project with Alan Sparhawk from Low, who I know, and then I saw a video of you with Lucius getting on stage with them, and Wilco, and then Pigface, which is about a 90-degree turn there. Yep. I'm like, wow. So are they calling you? Like, how are you getting connected with all these folks?
Oh, this is so random. This has been the weirdest lifetime, I guess. So Pigface is because Tiny Desk at one of the shows, like one of the prize shows or whatever, Bob Boylan had invited Martin Atkins, who's the founder of Pigface, to do a panel discussion before my performance. And so I met Martin there. He said, I wrote a book about touring, and I was like, great, I think we're going to start touring. This was before. And so he's like, well, read my book, and if you have any questions, get in touch with me. And I totally did. I have about 1 billion questions. So we became friends. And then Pigface had a reunion show, and he had this picture of in his mind of me doing a solo violin rendition of a Pigface song. So I did Point Blank, it was really fun. It's all live looping and it's so different than the original version. And then the Decemberists happened because right after the Tiny Desk, Chris Funk, who's the guitarist in the Decemberists, was doing a small docu-series, like 2 or 3 minute videos of like different artists, and he asked if I could do one of those videos, and they're probably my favorite band from college. Like I was obsessed with the Decemberists, and so that was like a dream come true. But when I went out to Portland, he said, if you're ever out in Portland, call me up and let me know that you're here. So I did, and I said, I have a 1 week residency. If you ever want to play with me one of those days, you could totally come out and play. And he did, actually. And so he and I jammed a little bit at my show. And then the next day he called me and he's like, do you want to be on our album? And I was like, yes, I will be right there. So we rode down on a taxi and I played on one song, Rusalka, the Wild Rushes song. It's on one of their last albums. And because of meeting the band that day, which was like, I wish I had a time machine that one time, especially. Like I wasn't even performing when I was listening to the Decemberists the most. So, like it was way earlier and they were just my favorite band of all time. And so I was like, I wish I could like tell myself in 10 years, you will be playing with them. It was so cool. It was so weird. And so then they asked about open for them when they came to Minneapolis. And the same thing happened with Wilco. I met Jeff at a festival and I was like the tiniest act and he was the biggest act. And we met because of Alan. He knew who I was. And so all these weird connections, I ended up opening for them in St. Paul as well. And so it was really fun. Those are both like just kind of the memories that I will take with me for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah, amen to all that. Well, and we can get done with this pandemic. I have a feeling you're going to have some more connections. But that's the beautiful thing about music and touring and traveling. And it's we're all at this big, humongous party here, and we're getting introduced and connected and all. And obviously, your music is resonating with a lot of people, and which is wonderful to see. Resonates with me. So I'm glad to see it tonight. So you mentioned you're going to keep doing the live streams. Those are weekly on your YouTube page. Is that what you said?
Yep. And it's youtube.com/Gaelynn Lea. And every week I try to have that link up several days before the event. So you should be able to find the link for the show coming up.
And what's the best way for people to contact you if they like to purchase your music or even perhaps book you for a performance? Like how do people contact you? Yeah,
probably my website's got the best contact links and calendar and videos and album links. So it's violinscratches.com. I made the website a really long time ago, but I never changed the name. So it's violinscratches.com. And I see a question from a guy in the chat saying, what do I always bring with me on tour? And I have a very specific answer. I missed drinking out of real cups, like at hotels. So I started bringing my own coffee mug and my own wine glass on tour so that at night and in the morning, I could like drink out of a real glass because I didn't know how much I would miss doing that on the road because you're like paper cups all the time. And you're like, to-go cups.
You're bringing up like one of the things. I mean, obviously, touring and being a touring musician can be very fun, but can be kind of hard too. And especially if you're away for a while and not, you want those comforts of home, which are easier said than done to find out in the world. So even a little thing like a cup or anything, it's important. It keeps you going, and hopefully keeps you in a good mood to keep performing well.
Yeah. We started out where I had a whole bin, like a big Rubbermaid of like craft supplies because I thought I would like do stuff on the road, and that quickly got left behind. I think I brought a harp one time. I mean, there's not actually any time on the road, so the comforts you bring have to be the very small ones that don't require a lot of time because I basically never did any of those crafts ever on the road. They just sat in the van, and I was like, oh, never mind, because you're driving and playing and sleeping and driving and playing and sleeping. That's what you do. Yeah.
And may we all get back to doing that.
Yes, exactly. It will happen. It will happen. Yes.
Indeed. All right. Well, Gaelynn, thank you so much for being a part of this. I wish you much success and luck. Good luck in writing your book and continuing music. And hopefully we'll see you out there in person sometime in the not too
Oh.
distant future.
I know. Thank you, and I'm really glad to get connected with you, and thank you for all you do, and keep up the good work.
We will.
Well,
All right. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Also, for those of you who missed part of it, you want to watch this again, you can go on in a little while on the Once Virtual Venue YouTube page, and this will be archived for for as long as we can have them archived. So come and check it out. And let other people know to watch this show. So anyway,
Cool.
Good night, everybody. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.